This short video is about how Salud WIC uses twist reports for caseload management. It's an interview with Lynetta, who is the coordinator of Salud WIC. How do you use the transaction report in Twist?
We use it in a variety of ways. We really use it to help with caseload management and also just ensuring we have enough appointments. We tend to look at how we're trending with certain appointments over the last 12 months. So for example, we'll run the transaction report and look at how many new clients we're averaging over the last year, and then we'll actually use that to help us project how many appointment slots we need to add for like the current or future months. And like some of our bigger sites especially find that we need to pre-block new pregnant slots or just generic new slots to make sure that we have enough appointments available and to make sure we're meeting processing standards. I also in my role, I run it throughout the month really to look at how we're doing with our various transactions. So I like to see how we're trending for new client transactions, reinstates, reactivates, recertifications, and transfers. And it's certainly not an exact science, but if I find that we're running higher or we're trending with higher numbers, let's say we have more new clients throughout the month, we tend to have a better caseload. When we have fewer transactions as the month goes on, I like to kind of reach out to our sites and try to strategize how we can get more people in. And also, I use the transaction report to pull out what I call gems throughout the month. You know, sometimes we don't have a great caseload month, but maybe we had some other really positive things that I want to share with my team. It might be like maybe we had fewer clients that were terminated from the program in the month, or we saw a lot of new clients. And so I like to share our successes with our team as they happen.
What other reports do your site supervisors run regularly?
You know, I definitely say it would depend on the size of the site and the supervisor, but we do tend to look at the unfilled appointment report at least once a month. That one tells us how many unfilled slots we have based on appointment type, and that can really help us determine how many slots we might need or how many slots we have available in the month. We also look at the projected number of individual appointment report. That tells us how many pending appointments there are by clinic and by month, and that report will tell us basically, for example, let's say the dietitian is trying to figure out how many appointment slots to add in the month. She'll run the report and see maybe there's 50 pending appointments for the dietitian for the FD appointment. So she can get a ballpark of how many appointment days she needs to add. And let's say the unfilled appointment report shows that there are 40 slots available, or unfilled, I should say, and but yet she needs 50 slots. So that tells her that she needs to open up more appointment slots to meet the client need. We also, in conjunction with that, we also look at the show rate monthly report by site, and that'll tell us what our usual no-show rate is or show rate. So for example, let's say about 25% of our clients don't come to their appointment. When we're projecting how many slots to add in that same example with the dietitian FD slots, we might add 25% more slots than we need to account for those clients that need to reschedule during the month. And we kind of use the projected number of group appointments in the same way. Maybe we have some classes booked in the schedule, and maybe they're not filling or whatever it might be. So we'll look at how many people have pending requests for the classes. And if we're trying to fill like our breastfeeding or prenatal type classes, we can also look at the participant estimated date of delivery report to give us an idea who might be due for or have a pending due date, and try to get them in for some of those classes as well.
As coordinator, which reports do you use?
In my role, I look at staff management quite a bit, and when we have staff vacancies or FMLA leave, I really need to look at the big picture of what's happening with staffing at all of our sites. And so I'll also run the unfilled appointment request report and compare it to our projected appointment needs. And if it seems like, let's say one site has, let's say they have 100 extra appointments in the month based on that unfilled to projected appointment ratio, I could then pull some staffing out of that site to help at another location that has the staffing shortage. The other thing is there's certain months in the year, February and November tend to be harder months to get everybody in. We have less working days, and so I tend to look at it those months and just to make sure that we have our staffing's more equal and we can meet our appointment needs. Certainly on months where we're fully staffed and maybe we have more working days, like October tends to be one where we have a lot of working days. We don't necessarily have to run it as often. And I use it as well when we get staff leave requests, especially in months like November and December where we tend to get a lot of holiday type requests. I'll also look at, how many leave requests can we accommodate and still meet our business needs in terms of adequate appointments. So I do look at it, those reports quite a bit at certain times of the year.
What reports do you run monthly?
We definitely look at when the caseload reports are available the second of the month, we definitely run those. We'd like to see how we did for the prior month, and those would be the participating caseload, 12-month history, the certified caseload, 12-month history, and then we'd like to break it down by each of our individual sites and look at the WIC counts by priority, both for participating and certified caseload. I like to send a summary to our team of how we're doing with caseload, and then our site supervisors will share it with their team. And kind of back to what I said earlier, we like to celebrate our successes. Even if we didn't have an increase or a steady caseload that month, we like to celebrate where we can, whether it be more new clients, we had more transfers, whatever it might be.
What reports do you run daily?
We do. Our supervisors run the participants with no benefits report each day. They actually use this as a motivator and a tracking tool to see how we're trending with getting clients in for the month. If we find that we're running behind kind of our usual number of clients without benefits, or I should say we have more clients without benefits, then we try to activate our teams and have them reach out to participants. If we find we're trending really well and we're getting lots of clients their benefits in the month, we like to celebrate it, and it almost becomes a motivator and a contest for our team to see how many clients they could get in. We also use the show rate monthly individual report by site to also look at how many appointments we saw for the prior day and kind of use that as a motivator. Our teams each have established goals of how many new clients and recertifications and mid-certs they want to see each day or in a month, and so that helps them kind of track how they're doing. The other caseload management reports that we use throughout the month would be like we use the auto scheduler unable to schedule report. Our agency doesn't actually run auto scheduler to schedule appointments, but that report is still handy because we set it up to run auto scheduler with an appointment type we don't use, and then it actually gives us the report of the clients that wasn't able to schedule. And so it's actually all of the clients that have pending requests. So we can use that to reach out to participants who still need to schedule an appointment. The NCERT register no appointment and the register of clients with eligibility pending report are also ones that we use. So we use the term in our agency working the call list to identify those reports that identify clients that need to come in for benefits or appointments or proofs. And so we utilize these reports throughout the month to try to get people in for their benefit needs or appointment needs. And our team will call them from the report, they'll text them, they'll mail them to try to get them in for those needs. And we just take those reports that we print and twist and we divvy them up among our team, and everybody has kind of their list to call. And then we just work those lists throughout the month. Depending on the site size, some sites will run them more than others, and it kind of depends on how quickly our appointment slots are filling. So for example, let's say we notice that we have appointments still available this week. We're going to try to reach out to our participants more actively to try to schedule those clients that are due for appointments. If we're filling up pretty solidly, then we maybe don't work the list as actively. For example, one site might run the reports at the beginning of the month and then maybe rerun again in the latter part of the month, because anybody who comes in or receives their benefits or brings in proofs will be removed from the list. And so we will run a more updated list and work that list later in the month.
Thank you, Lynetta.